Grant Cardone says that if you make under $400K a year, $400,000 a year, you should be ashamed of yourself. I have a very special message for today.
Y'all can talk to me. Now, damn, I will not hurt you, okay? What's the number? 400 grand. Okay, now why did we come up with that number? Because I don't know how you guys could even live on that number. If I made 400 grand a year, I would be embarrassed with myself as a husband, a father, basically as a human being. 400 grand. How do you make sense of $35,000 a month? You guys haven't done the math. You have not done the math because you cannot live on 400 grand a year. And if you think you can live on 400 grand a year, I might have to go back and add number one. Nothing. Anybody can make 400 grand a year. All you got to do is show up. Okay. Now I don't know if I'm right or wrong. You guys don't need to agree with me. I've already been paid my fee.
No one can survive off of $400,000 a year. $35,000 a month is for losers. Your family should be ashamed of you, your parents, your children, the dog, your ancestors, your God, your children's children, your children's dog, everybody. You are nothing if you make less than $400K a year. In fact, you shouldn't even classify yourself as human because in actuality, you're trash. That means stay-at-home moms and dads, you men and women that sacrifice your goals, your careers, and time to take care of the home while your significant other is at work. Yes, you too are nothing. Doctors and nurses, yes, you too are insignificant. The same ones that have to go through the grueling task of pulling out all of the shit that seems to be stuck up the ass of people like Grant Cardone, just to give him his annual colonoscopy, or, the doctors and nurses that save lives every day and look after the sick. You all should be ashamed of yourselves because you make less than $400,000 a year. Teachers, therapists, law enforcement, firefighters, you are all expendable. Nothing more than insignificant little peons that should be doing much better things in life, like selling courses on how to get rich. Basically, if you don't make as much as the president of the United States, your life is pretty much useless. And hell, if the president made just $1 less, you just barely made it, buddy. You just barely made the useful list. For a while, I found myself trying to find any sort of rationale as to why anyone would want to listen to or take advice from somebody like Grant Cardone. Used car salesman vibe aside, how is it that no one sees him for what he truly is, which is an egotistical, lying scumbag? This is a guy who has 4.2 million followers on Instagram, 2.3 million subs on YouTube. I mean, this guy is a social media rock star. He's been on CNBC, Jet Set, Forbes. How can you not worship the very ground he walks on? I mean, 2016, he was even listed in the UK as one of the most influential CEOs in the world at number 7 out of 500. He's certainly an accomplished author, businessman. So I don't doubt that there's a few things you can learn from this guy. But honestly, I don't understand how anyone can get that far after listening to this guy for 5 minutes. Everything out of his mouth sounds like a sales pitch to me. And there's a reason for that. When you find out that he used to be a car salesman before he turned to being a motivational speaker, everything just sort of comes together, The thing about being a motivational speaker is that you understand above all else how people think. That's actually your job and your biggest asset as a motivational speaker. The ability to appeal to a vast amount of people is a skill that the greatest speakers have mastered because they understand one thing, that most people are sheep. It's true. Most people want to be led. There's a reason why there are thousands of churches, cults, and synagogues with millions of members all over the world. People are lost out here. They lack understanding. And when this happens, they'll tend to bend the knee to anyone who can provide them some sort of direction in their lives. It's why most people would rather hear a sermon or motivational speech rather than read the actual text for themselves. People want to be led. They want to be hand-fed. They want to be hand-fed. This is why people flock to every popular stock that all their favorite people talk about. And it's why people who are full of themselves like Grant Cardone can make millions of dollars finessing sheep to join his flock. Why am I talking about this? Because your mindset about life is just as important as learning how to manage your finances. Companies hire guys like Grant Cardone to come speak to people because they know that when he speaks, it'll get a lot of people excited about whatever it is that they're going to sell them afterwards. This guy said anybody can wake up and make $400,000 a year. Just go get it. It takes anywhere from 10 to 13 years for a person to become a surgeon. Surgeons are one of the fields that make over $400,000 a year. 10 to 13 years of schooling. And Grant Cardone says you just get up one day. It's nothing. You just get up one day and decide that you're going to go get that 400K. Anybody can do it, right? And everyone in the audience listening to this just sat there in silence. No one called bullshit. And I'd imagine Grant Cardone doesn't have people in his life that ever really call him out on the bullshit he says during seminars like this, or else they wouldn't be a part of his Cardone empire anymore. See, when you're this arrogant and cocky, you need a bunch of yes men around you to validate whatever it is that you're going to say. And in the video, you hear him basically say how it doesn't matter if anyone in the audience agrees with him or not, because he's already been paid. Just so nonchalant about the bullshit he says, it's mind-boggling how anyone can stomach sitting through one of this guy's seminars or self-monologues. Does anyone think that when Grant Cardone was a sleazy-ass car salesman that he was making $400,000 a year? I doubt it. See, you have to be very careful adopting a mindset like this, because what will happen is even if you are one of the fortunate people to end up making that much money every year, believing in this philosophy can lead you to alienate yourself from reality and destroy relationships and connections. The moral of the story is this: while we are all in the pursuit of financial stability, it is important to remember that your value as a person is not directly tied to your paycheck. And if you're going to be a part of a flock, make sure that you've chosen a great leader to follow. But hey, these are my thoughts. As always, if you have any that you would like to share, you're welcome to leave them down in the comments below. And as always, remember to invest diligently, but more importantly, invest responsibly and stop buying into bullshit from these people you don't know that have accomplished nothing in your life but claim to lead you to prosperity. Later.
There's nowhere quite like where I'm from. When we were young, street lights calling me. Street lights, street lights. There's nowhere quite like where I'm from.